Welcome to Six's Overdrive. Today, we're going to be riding the Honda Valkyrie. The legend is back. All right, Valkyrie, and I believe this is a 1600. I'll give that for sure if I screwed that up, but should be pretty much the same motor that's in the gold wings and the CB6s and everything. So can't remember if it's 1600 or 1800 though. There's a lot of people upset when they discontinued the Valkyrie a few years ago, because it was such a cool and smooth motorbike that that there was so many fans of. Like, they have, you know, it's like one of those Moto Guzzi things where they have rallies for these Valkyries and people have just kept them mint and people have put all these miles on them, and it was this cult bike that everybody just loves. So there's a lot of expectations riding on this bad boy. And we're going to see if those expectations are met. To me, I like this for a cruiser. The feet aren't so far ahead. No windshield, but I'm sure you can get all the stuff you need. It's got a real neat sounding motor, actually. It's not, it's more like a futuristic thing, eh? Like, you're not talking about a big rumble or anything like that. You're almost talking about a machine like whir, like a... And it only revs out to 6,000 RPM, but you'd swear it was going more than that. Suspension's good and firm. I think this thing would be actually a pretty good hoot in the twisties. It's kind of cool. It's not light by any means. I'll put the weight up here for you guys. But it's a little bit of a monster as far as weight goes. But you do not feel it. I repeat, you do not feel it. You do feel a lot of power though. That's nice power. You're going to be running away from your cruiser buddies that are running the V-twins, that's for sure, guys. On anything probably except for the, what do you call those, night rods from Harley, be about the only thing that might keep up with this in a straight line. This bike protects you pretty nice from the wind, actually. We're going basically the speed limit, probably right around 100 kilometers an hour or 60 mile. And there's not too much wind coming at me at all. But it's a big front end on this babe, and you're sitting in pretty well. This reminds me of the way the air flowed over me on the Super Duke, which was also very nice. It looks like the manufacturers are starting to get this whole naked appearance. Good, let's face it, guys. Windshields are ugly. I don't care if I'm going to get a whole bunch of comments talking about, oh, I like my windshield, especially on a long trip. They suck, man. It's a motorbike. Get off the windshield and get out and ride and enjoy your adventure. Wear a full face mask. That's good enough. You're not going to get that tired. You're only going to go 600k in a day. Anyway, that's my rant. This thing's smooth, baby. Smooth. Big, black, long, and smooth. Hey, you notice me with the safety vest on? I'm leading again. Oh well. Nobody else wants to, I'll do it. I hate following other bikes. Last demo ride we went on, there was a guy riding a Honda Grom. Yeah, not the best bike for the highway. We waited for him for about 5 minutes after we took our highway route there. So, that's kind of funny though. I'm not sure what I think of the digital dash here. It's very easy to read though, I'll give it that much. You do have to look down, you almost have to take your eyes right off the road to look at it. But that's a lot of bikes. Six's Overdrive is coming up to the first corner. What will he do? He's riding the 700 plus pound bike. He goes down into fourth gear, third gear. Oh, maybe that's second gear. That sounds like second gear to me. Oh, it leans into the corner with the greatest of ease. Oh! That's a stump puller, boys. Woohoo! I think I lost everybody. We better slow down. That's pretty good power. That's fun. For a big bike, this thing feels pretty neutral. This is fun. I wish I would have found out if it has 6 or 5 gears. I'm pretty sure it's 6, but man, when I was downshifting, it sure felt like all of a sudden I was in second gear very quickly with only 3 downshifts. So I'm kind of wondering if it's 5-speed. I'll find out for you. I'll put a little bloop 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 out there so you can see if it's 6 or 5 gears, because I'll forget to tell you by the time we're done. You know what my best way to describe this bike is, guys? It's a naked Goldwing. Like, it doesn't have all the fancy things that the Goldwing does. It's just meant to be in your face and go down the highway. Everybody's known that that Goldwing's got an awesome motor in it for years and years. And that it corners. You know, you go out with your Harley buddies and you're riding on a Goldwing and they've all got their electric glides, you're gonna leave them in the dust. Seriously, man, even though it weighs more, that thing gets up and goes and is comfortable all day. This is for those guys that don't want to look like they're 75 years old, but they still want a good, reliable bike that'll keep up with anybody and still have a real cool look. Like, it doesn't look like a grandpa bike, it looks like a naked cruiser is what it looks like. It's got a kind of infused thing of between muscle bike and cruiser. That's pretty neat. Handles these bumps pretty decent. That laugh sounded fake. So does this one. And one thing typical of a cruiser, if you do decide to accelerate a little bit and get some speed up, it's pretty good up to about maybe 120 after that, just because your arms and legs are kind of forward. It feels like a kite. You really got to hold on with your hands. Up to 120 is good. You should be able to get 75 mile an hour out of it without too much discomfort. You guys see that throttle? Look at this. Like, that's ridiculous. That's the longest travel throttle in the history of motorbikes. I don't know if probably in the first half of the throttle is all you need, and then they got the thing reaching around just about 360 degrees. You snap your wrist off, man. That's weird. Just plain weird. Top gear roll-on feels pretty nice, even when you're down at 80 kilometers an hour. That means this is a nice flexible motor. You know what I'd really like to see? I'd like to see this bike if they make a performance exhaust, like from Vance and Hines or one of those other companies. I would like to see what kind of engine tone comes out of this when it's not muted, because it might be pretty original. It might be a real cool howler when it came down the road. Silky smooth, but there's, you know, 6 cylinders. I don't know, on a motorbike that might sound pretty cool. It's like something nobody else has. Everybody else has a Harley Davidson twin or a cruiser twin, Victory, Honda, whatever. They all got twins, they're all piped. Harley has its own sound, but there's 5 billion of them out there. So just about every bike you hear going down the road sounds the same. And the other cruisers with the twin cylinders, they all sound the same. Then you got the twin sport bikes. Definitely Ducati's got its own sound. But the other ones are pretty nondescript. And then you've got the sport bikes with their inline 4s. Triumph makes a neat sound with its triple on the Daytonas. That can really have a nice raspy sound to it, and Yamaha's triple is no different. So it'd be really neat to see what a 6-cylinder, an inline 6, would sound like on a motorcycle. I hope they make something like that. I'd love to see this bike. Yeah, no, not the Aspen Kate or anything like that. People want that thing quiet. They got stereos on the thing, and I think you can get DVDs to watch movies, and it's basically a car, that bike. Some guy's riding it back there. He's taking one out. But anyway, on this bike, it'd be nice to have a little bit of exhaust tone. I'm one of those guys, I don't flap through a neighborhood or anything like that. But I like to hear a motorbike engine. Your neighbors should be okay as long as you don't hammer it in a residential section. On a nice highway, or when you're just cruising through town, you want to roll on the accelerator a little bit, or if somebody's encroaching on your lane, you want to be heard a bit. It'd be nice to have an exhaust. On a bike like this, I'd like to see that, what it sounds like. These guys really know how to put on a demo ride. I know it's on a Friday, guys. It's 12 to 4 and a lot of you have to work. But you know what? They got a nice tray there for people to eat while they're standing there. Crackers and, you know, some sausage and cheese and pickles. They got cold Coke served out of the back of a Honda, what do you call those? Anyway, they got cold Cokes cooling off in the back of their Honda truck there. It's pretty nice. Bunch of Tim Hortons donuts to snack on. Nice way to treat the customers. You guys go out and support these things so they keep doing this stuff. Otherwise they're gonna feel pretty depressed that all they got out was 5 riders or something. And they spend a lot of money to get these demo rides going. So go out and support them already. Controls feel really nice. Everything's responsive. Nice size of hand grips for a cruiser. Mirrors work good. And switch gear, everything like that is perfect. You pretty much expect that out of a bike nowadays though, right? This is definitely, it's got to be a 5-speed. There's no way that's a 6-speed. Either that or it's the lowest second gear I've ever found in my life. I like the dash, I like the mirrors, I like the signal lights. I still like these kind of signal lights here, guys. That's still my favorite kind. And you might be saying that's what I'm used to, but I've tried lots of bikes. I've owned lots of bikes with the different kinds. I've ridden Harleys for a long time with the right and left. Not a bad thing once you get used to it, but this just feels natural on a motorbike. You ever get that feeling that you forgot to turn your camera or your sound on? That's a bad feeling as a motovlogger. That's a really bad feeling when you just spent the last 15 or 20 minutes talking into a helmet about everything, and then you realize, hey, my mic wasn't on, or hey, my that blows chunks. This thing does not move in the wind when you're passing another vehicle. That's another benefit for having a big heavy bike. Boy oh boy, this thing sure is a cornering machine, guys. Like, it just goes to the corner. No dragging pegs here. I wish this thing told you what gear you were in. I'm pretty sure it's 5. I can keep track myself, but still nice to have the indicator. Ooh. Look at this thing corner, hey? Like, so nice. For a big bike, it moves side to side in an awful hurry. That's pretty cool. And on any of those lean angles, she would have had peg dropped for sure. Like, look at how neutral that thing is. I hardly have to do anything. You just put the smallest input into the handlebars and away she goes. That is pretty neat. I'll have to get a price on this thing for you guys, because I have no idea what it costs here in Canada. But if this thing's anywhere around the $14,000 range, I'll be putting it up. I would say that's a steal of a deal. That would be a phenomenal bike. If you're into cruisers, Like, that would be so nice to get a bike like that for this price. I can't see it being that low price though. It's a lot of bike, but it's bare bones, right? There's no options in it. It's not like you're getting heated hand grips and stuff, big windshields and luggage and stuff. So by the same standard, how much do you want to pay for a naked bike? But man, as far as cruisers go, this thing eats cruisers for dinner. Spits them out. Well, here we are at the dealership. What I loved about this bike is it's one of the nicest riding cruisers I've ever ridden. The engine is smooth, it's great. Some of you are going to want that V-twin thump, 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 thump. But this thing rocks as far as cruisers go. It turns amazingly well. It's super balanced. Real easy to drive at low speed. And it's a joy to ride this thing. I love it for a naked cruising bike. This thing is a big bad boy. I like the looks, actually. Looks like something out of the future. So maybe some of the things I don't like is this. Trying to back it up. Man, that's a workout. Oh, now I know why it's that much weight. That is heavy. And the gearing is a little too far spaced. You really find it really wants to almost lock up the back tire when you're downshifting. That's it, guys. This is 6IOD. Bye-bye.